We welcome in head coach Josh McDaniels. And, Coach, let's start with the obvious. Josh Jacobs, 229 yards. It's the franchise single-game record, but a lot of people helped them get there.
Yeah, no doubt. We gave the game ball to our offensive line, and helped produce a lot of yards in the running game. Kept Derek clean for the most part all day. Did a really good job against a physical front, a group that has created issues for people in the past, but they were good. Jakob was good. Foster was good. Really got, Josh started and got him through the line of scrimmage, which was big.
This is what you always thought of Jakob, right? When he's coming through and he's just burying people, the strength of him, he gets stronger throughout the game.
He does, and throughout the season. He's in the weight room every day, and so this is a guy that understands his role. He brings an added element of toughness to our offense, and I think that was on full display on Sunday.
Let's go back to the offensive line. And, Josh, what are you seeing when you look at the tape? Is he hitting the holes fast? Is he waiting for it? And what about the blocking at the next level?
Yeah, he's got great patience, and I like the touchdown run to seal it. He just hit it because it was there. But if it's not and there's a little bit of a gray area, he bides his time behind the line of scrimmage, and our offensive line coach calls him an owl because he sees everything, and he can find the hole if it's backside, front side, or right in front of him. And the second level blockers, including the receivers, Matt Collins, Keelan Cole, some of those guys really helped get on the second level people to allow him some more space to run.
So, Josh, the only player since 1950 with 225 on the ground, 70 yards reception. You're a guy from Canton. When you think of the history, I like when you talk about the history and what you know about this league. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And, there's been a handful of games that I've been a part of where you come out of the game and you didn't even recognize or realize what was happening. But then you look back on it and you really appreciate how special it was. And I think that's how we're going to look at Sunday.
Abdullah, Moreau, and Cole. Let's talk about their effort overall, their production, but what you're seeing with the effort.
Yeah, great effort. And, the thing I love about them is the ball doesn't always find them, often. But when it does, they're ready and they make the plays, and Amir had some really critical third down catches, a big touchdown. Foster had another third down catch for a touchdown. And then Keelan comes up with one in overtime. He had one a week ago in Denver in the 2-minute drive, and then here he is again in overtime. So sometimes it's hard for guys to play 40, 50 minutes and not touch the ball and then be ready when their number's called. But those guys have been ready to go.
Is that more practice reps, more film study? What's the key to that success?
Yeah, I think just running every route and expecting the ball to come to you, even if it doesn't. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes hard, but I think those guys have really got into a good rhythm. They know when, hey, I have to clear out on this route to give somebody else a chance. They do their job the right way, and they play hard for 60 minutes, and then when the ball finds them, they're ready.
It's rare in any sport to have back-to-back overtime wins, let alone on the road. How do you keep that momentum coming back to Allegiant Stadium?
Yeah, I think we just keep our focus on the process. Obviously, this is a team that it's a division game at home, and it's a really important game for our season. It's an important game in our division. It's another conference opponent for us, so that beat us the first game of the year. So there's a lot of reasons for us to really just pour ourselves into this game, not worry about what happened the last couple weeks here. We know that doesn't really guarantee us anything this week, but I love our energy and our attitude, and I think we've started our preparation the right way.
A few weeks ago, we sat here and you talked about beating Denver and how much hard you work to make sure you dot every I and cross every T. You lost to this team.
Yep.
How does your perception change with that?
It's a little different in that they probably have the advantage of saying, hey, they had a few more things work in the first game, and they did some things that I'm sure they felt pretty good about. So for us, we just have to look at the things that hurt us and try to make sure that we come up with an answer, a solution for our players, and have a good week of practice.
Austin Eckler has 80 receptions.
Yep.
So what is he doing? Because you face Kamara, Etienne.
Yep.
Is it getting him to the ground quickly or spotting him on formations and kind of keeping a spy on him or just stopping him early?
It's kind of all the above.
Yeah.
They put him everywhere. He's in the backfield and catches passes. He's out wide. They put him in empty formations. They motion him. So I think it's really just as much we have to be aware of him, where he's at in his alignment, and then we have to close the space to him. So if we have coverage near him, it's got to be tighter, or else the ball is going to go to him. That's what Justin does. So closing the space, being aware of his alignment, and then once he has it, we got to tackle.
Khalil Mack had a good first game. He was dominant in that game. What do you do now to kind of neutralize him? He's very familiar with your personnel. He's a great player.
Yeah, he is. And it's hard to stop great players like him. And I think our tackles have improved as the year's gone on. He has a great power rush, and he's really slippery on the edge, and he can come back inside. So I think we're just going to be, number one, aware of his alignment, because at this point he's playing on both sides of the line of scrimmage now. He's not just playing on the left. He's playing on the right and the left with Bosa out. So knowing where he's at, if we have somebody assigned to help on him, then we got to do our job, and we got to stay inside out.
Herbert with the eye discipline. When we talked about Patrick Mahomes in the past, what have you seen similar or different, as he's always looking downfield and trying to look you off?
Yeah, he does a great job. And he's always looking for something down the field. You said it right. And so I think it starts with our pass rush. We have to be very disciplined with the pass rush, because this guy's a really good athlete. If we run by him and open up the middle, he's just going to take off and run. And, it's 20, 25 yards every time he does it. So being where we're supposed to be, being in our lanes, being disciplined to do it on every pass play, staying deep in the deep part of the field, not letting him have anything easy behind us, and just making him earn everything he gets.
Let's go back to the interior pass rush for you. Good game in Seattle. Yeah. That opens it up for Maxx and Chandler. What would you say to them after the game? Because they're unsung heroes in that game. We're going up against Geno Smith.
No question. Very critical that we have somebody pushing in front of them. And most of the time in Seattle, we were where we were supposed to be. And anytime a quarterback feels that pressure in his face, it's harder to step up, and then that gives the guys that are running around the edge a little bit more opportunity to get to them. So I think that the pass rush that we have now is starting to see how every person works together. If we get a push in the middle, then the edge guys have a better chance. If we rush hard off the edge and he has to step up, then these guys have a chance. So it's really a connected thing, and if we're disciplined to do it for 4 quarters, I think we can have some success this week.
As we wrap this up, I wanted to talk about leadership with Maxx. You talked about him earlier in the week in the press conference. The stats are really piling up here for him, but I see him in the locker room right next to you in these post-game celebrations. He's the leader in and off the field. Love that about him.
Yeah, he wants to win. He doesn't care about individual success. He just wants to make sure that we have more points than the other team at the end of the game, and that's what I love the most about him. He was in here the next day. We gave him the victory Monday. It doesn't apply to him. He was in here the next day at 6 a.m., and that's what he does, and that's why he's worked himself into being a great player, and he's a great teammate and a great example for our team.
Finally, Coach, it feels like you've been gone for a while. You've been practicing here in Vegas, but these road games, so you come home, it's a big home game in front of the fans. Raider Nation, your message to them.
Yeah, I appreciate all the support that they've given us. Like I said, we've been away for a while now. For the last 5 weeks, we've been on the road, but we've felt their support the entire time. We were able to fight hard and get a couple wins to put ourselves back here in a little bit of a good position at this point to try to continue our push. And we can't wait to get back into Allegiant Stadium here on Sunday. We know what that's going to feel like. I remember watching the last game of last season when the Chargers were here, how loud it was. We know we're going to get a home field advantage from our crowd, and we're looking forward to it.
You had the headset on last one when the walk-off touchdown, but you heard the roar of the Raider fans, how it quieted.
Unbelievable.
I went back and looked at that 2 or 3 times to hear the level of the crowd, to know how many Raider fans traveled.
There was a ton of Raider fans in Seattle, and it doesn't surprise me anymore. Now I've gotten used to it. When we come out of the tunnel in pregame warm-ups on the road, there's an enormous roar, and that's just a tribute to the kind of fans we have.
Good luck against the Chargers.
Thank you very much.